Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something that is going to completely flip the way you look at your bank account. We're unpacking a massive financial mindset shift from our source material that challenges a narrative we've literally all been fed since we got our very first piggy bank. We're going to explore the real difference between saving and wealth, and more importantly, exactly why saving actually limits your financial growth. Now don't worry, we aren't talking about any dry, complex financial theories today. We're getting into real, actionable habits that build genuine wealth. So let's jump right in.
Okay, so this brings us to a huge question. Will saving actually make you rich? Like, really think about that deeply for a second. We all know the common advice, right? That deeply held idea that if you just save enough money, if you meticulously cut your expenses and completely avoid those little luxuries, like that daily coffee, eventually, someday, you're gonna be wealthy. You've been told your whole life that saving money is the ultimate path to getting rich. But our source material directly challenges that conventional wisdom. In fact, it argues that saving alone has never actually made anyone wealthy. Now, that's a bold claim for sure, but as we're going to see, it actually makes perfect logical sense.
Section 1. The myth of saving. Saving versus building.
Now look, no one's saying you should just go out and be reckless with your money, right? But we really need to look at the mathematical reality of why saving inherently limits your financial growth. Over on the left side, we have saving. Saving has a mathematical ceiling. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means you can only cut so much. No matter how incredibly frugal you are, there's an absolute limit to how little you can spend. You still have to pay for food, shelter, the basics, right? You literally cannot save past zero. But look over at the right side, earning. Earning has absolutely no limit to how much you can bring in. There is zero ceiling there. And this is the fundamental difference. When you focus solely on saving, you're basically optimizing for a variable that has a hard stop. But when you focus on earning, you're tapping into a variable that has infinite potential. If you really want to understand why saving limits financial growth, it all comes down to this ceiling. Simply put, you just can't shrink your way to wealth.
Moving on to Section 2, defense versus offense, protecting versus building. Just think about this idea for a moment. Saving protects what you already have. It's defense. And honestly, that absolutely validates the role of saving. Saving is super important for protection. It keeps a roof over your head if things go sideways. It is your defensive line. But, as in any game, and especially in the game of personal finance, real wealth is never built purely on defense. You just can't win the game if you never score any points.
So, the crucial point here is understanding what it actually means to go on the attack. In financial terms, offense means income. Specifically, it means establishing a second source of income. Real wealth isn't built on defense, it's built on offense. Adding income is the true, undeniable driver of wealth accumulation. If you want to break past that mathematical ceiling we were just talking about, you have got to start playing offense.
Seriously, if you look at anyone who has actually built real wealth, it's almost never from one single salary combined with extreme saving. It just doesn't happen that way. Instead, it comes from adding additional income streams. And here are some incredibly accessible examples right here. Monetizing a side skill, starting a small business, offering a service, or maybe selling a product. It's all about building something, really anything, beyond that one primary paycheck.
That brings us to Section 3, the single income risk. Basically, why one income isn't safe.
Take a look at this quote with me. One income isn't safe. It feels safe because it's familiar. For decades, the standard advice was just to get a good job and rely on that single paycheck for 40 years. But the comfort and familiarity of that routine actually masks your biggest financial vulnerability. Relying on just one income is, counterintuitively, your absolute greatest financial risk.
Let's break down exactly why that's so incredibly dangerous. Here are some very real scenarios where a single income might just suddenly stop. A job loss, a totally unexpected health issue, or a company shutdown. If your entire financial ecosystem relies on that one single pillar and that pillar falls, everything stops with it. The money literally just stops flowing in immediately, and you can quickly find yourself in an absolute crisis because, you have zero backup.
But let's flip that entirely. Two income sources means options. And guys, this changes the whole equation. Even if that second income is really small, it provides this immense reassurance. It's not just about having extra money to spend. Fundamentally, it's about having options. It's about knowing you aren't just one bad month or one company layoff away from total disaster. A second income stream is basically your ultimate safety net, disguised as offense.
Okay, Section 4, building your offense. Let's get into some practical steps.
So, building your own small business or income stream doesn't mean you have to take some massive, terrifying leap. You definitely don't need to quit your main source of income. Instead, the source outlines these exact 3 steps. Step 1, add something small on the side. Keep your day job. Step 2, serve people you already know. You don't need a huge marketing budget, just tap right into your existing network. And step 3, grow it slowly. Honestly, this is such a refreshing and grounded approach to wealth building.
I really want to highlight this crucial takeaway from the source. It didn't need to be big on day one. It just needed to exist. I love this because it removes so much of that pressure of perfection that stops most people from ever even starting. You don't need a perfectly polished brand or some massive 6-figure launch. The sheer existence of that second stream is the vital first milestone. Just getting it out into the world, no matter how small it is, completely breaks that single income dependency.
And finally, Section 5, your next action step. What can you add?
Seriously, engrave this in your mind. This is literally the core emotional climax and the absolute most essential mindset shift of this entire explainer. If you're genuinely serious about building wealth, you have got to change your internal dialogue. Stop asking, what can I cut, and start asking, what can I add? Stop focusing obsessively on the mathematical ceiling of your expenses and start focusing on the completely limitless potential of your income. That is exactly how you truly win.
So that brings us right to your direct homework for the week. Action step. Write down just one skill you already have that someone else would actually pay for. Just one. You don't need a massive business plan yet. You don't need to go build a website right now. You just need to identify a starting point. Every single person has at least one skill, one piece of knowledge, or an ability that holds real value to someone else. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question to chew on today. What is your one monetizable skill? Really think about it. Dig deep. The exact moment you identify it is the exact moment you transition from playing financial defense to playing financial offense. It's super practical, it's not just theoretical, and it is the real difference between just saving and actually building wealth. Thank you so much for exploring this concept with me today in this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go out and start building that second stream right now.